Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. So I'm just looking here, trying to decide. I'm on NikonUSA.com, trying to decide what I want to do for a macro lens, macro micro lens. Want to get into some more macro and micro photography. Had some projects that I had in mind I want to do. And the nice thing is I can get, the reason I'm looking at currently with the Nikon stuff is because I have the D5200. And I've been getting a lot of review units in of different cameras from Nikon. But I want to be able to use the lens on my 5200 and any of the other Nikon cameras that come in, mostly DX, because I'm probably not going to buy a full FX lens, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And the nice thing is that I have a Micro Four Thirds 2 Nikon Adapter, so I can use that lens on my Olympus EM10 or on the Panasonic GX7, the GH4 when it comes in, so it'll allow me to do that. Now granted, it won't be autofocus or automatic exposure or anything like that. It'll be a full manual lens, but with macro micro photography, that's not such a big deal, because that's a lot of times it's easier to manual focus, and certainly getting exposure right, especially with a digital camera, is peanuts. You can just guess it in your head. Usually you're going to get it close, or set the camera to auto and see what the exposure is, and then you can use that as a ballpark for where you need to be, and then you just dial it into what you want. So that's easy enough. So what I'm looking at here, we've got options, is the Nikon AFS DX Micro Nikkor 85mm f3.5G EDVR. So that's the 85 mil. That's a MSRP at Nikon of $529.95. And then the other one I'm kind of interested in, just mostly because it's such a good value, is the little 40 mil f2.8G AFS DX. So both of these are DX lenses, meaning you can't use them on an FX body. Sometimes you can get away with it, but I've never tried this, so I wouldn't recommend it. These are designed and built for the crop sensor DX bodies. So that's the AFS DX Micro Nikkor 40mm f2.8G. MSRP at Nikon is $279.95. So quite a good value. 40mm, so we're talking field of view 62.5, something like that. So about a 60 on a DX body, equivalent 35mm field of view. And it's a 2.8 lens, so this actually probably be a pretty nice little lens for other things too. You could get away with using it for portraits probably, as much as you would a 35 f1.8 or something. That's not a great portraiture range typically for most people, but some people like to shoot with it. I think Zach Arias loves 35mm. So for DX, that's actually probably the two choices I'm going to go between. There are definitely other options available. There is the there's the older 55mm 2.8 Nikkor, which you can get used for a good deal, and that probably is, I don't know, maybe I'll look at that too, because I think you can buy one of those in decent shape for about $150 on eBay. So that's an option too. That also is a full frame lens, so you could use it as on an FX body, full frame. There's also the 60mm f2.8D. And the new 60mm f2.8G, both of which are around $500 to $600. And there's some longer lenses for FX, like the 105 AFS VR 2.8G, which is more expensive. It's $985. And of course, you have your long end, the 200mm f4D IF-ED, which is a little bit older lens, but a very sharp, very good lens. And sometimes you want a longer lens, so you don't have to be so close to your subject. Something that bites or stings, you would probably want a longer lens on. But for DX, our two main options there are the 40mm f2.8G Nikkor, the Micro, and the 85. I would like to try both of them. I'll see, maybe I'll borrow them both from Nikon if they have them available. But basically, it's a price thing, really. The 40mm f2.8G is $279.95, but you have to get in pretty close because it's equivalent, 62mm approximately. The 85 gives you more of an equivalent of like a 130 or something. So that's probably, your ideal DX lens. and f3.5 is still pretty quick, and they're both, well, they're not both VR. The 85 is VR, the 40 is not. And of course, our other options are a used lens like the 55mm f2.8, or the 105. There's an older 105 f2.8 too, both of which are going to be manual, so they're not going to work for autofocus, but I don't see that as a problem. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. What are you guys using for macro, for Nikkor on your Nikon systems, or any of these lenses you might be using with adapters on Canon or on Micro Four Thirds or whatever? What's your favorites? Which ones are you most interested in? Do you like the DX 40mm? I mean, it's a no-brainer for price. You can get it for about $260, I think, on Amazon. The 85mm DX 529, probably around $500 on Amazon. Or should we be looking into one of the used lenses at perhaps a better value, but losing our autofocus? And but still, again, you get the advantage of being able to use it on an FX body like a D610, D800, D4, D4S, etc. So let me know what you think, guys. Which macro micro are you using? Which one, if you don't have one, most interests you? Do you have any questions about this whole thing on what, are you interested in macro micro and you're not sure about something else? Let us know in the comments below. Let's have a discussion on it, and we'll talk to you soon. We'll be back soon with some new videos, some new articles. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of photography, videography, and technology right here at artoftheimage.com. Thanks a lot, folks.